Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're doing well. If you're watching this, then you've obviously seen the title and thumbnail, and it is true that I am closing our Berrow Motors site. There's been some news articles going around. Obviously, we've just had Berrow Motors weekly episode 100, which will be our last, and I've kind of had to rush to do this video. I was hoping we'd have a bit more time, but we ended up doing a local news article. People are sharing it around in the comments and things, and I felt like we need to address and kind of let you all know exactly what is going on here at Shifting Metal and Berrow Motors. As you can see behind me, the forecourt is pretty much completely bare. There's half a dozen cars here that are left to go, but we are winding down operations here completely at this site. Now, it doesn't mean that we're going to stop doing car-related content, or in fact car dealing and car trading content, but I am stopping trading from this site for a lot of reasons that we're not going to get hugely involved in this video. I think we'll do that in a future video, but I did want to kind of address what's going on and kind of let you know what you can expect going forward. Right, so why am I closing this site? Well, the Berrow Motors business in its current form isn't hugely profitable. It's not losing money. Don't worry, we haven't gone bankrupt. We're still going to be able to pay the staff and pay some redundancies and things like that. But for the amount of effort and stress and headaches involved, it just doesn't make sense to carry on doing this. I've already seen some comments from people on, say, like our weekly video and in the shorts for the weekly video, saying that, oh, this is another car dealer lost to YouTube and raffles, etc. Which, while we'll be carrying on doing YouTube and we'll carry on doing feel-good competitions and raising money for charity, it's simply not the case that it's like, oh, we're giving up on car dealing because of YouTube. In fact, the reason you've had the last year or so of the Berrow Motors Weekly and the content around this garage here is thanks to YouTube. If we didn't have YouTube and we didn't have the competitions to support us, I would have closed this garage a long time ago. In fact, you would have probably seen that my sister's been here, who is a ex-management accountant from Debenhams, to kind of really go over the figures and like, do I really want to do this? Because for a good year, I've been saying, I think I need to close the garage. It's distracting me from creating the good content that I want to provide to everyone on YouTube. Not forgetting I've got other businesses. We've got a plumbing company, we've got Cars Bought for More, we've got feel good competitions, and in fact we've got something else coming soon, another piece of software that I think is going to be really useful for you guys. And essentially I brought in my sister to kind of help me really make this decision very analytical, because that's not really my strong point, to be honest. Are my feelings correct that this is far too much work for the profit that it brings in, and should we wind this down? And essentially that is the conclusion we came to. There's a lot of expenses here, about £25,000 a month just to have the doors open and have the staff turn up. So that's a good 20 cars you've got to sell before you even break clear. And in fact, it's more than that, because I borrow money here in order to be able to sell the cars and keep the type of cars that we had in. We had stock facilities with BCA and V12 totaling about £300,000, which if fully used would cost me in the region of £5,000 to £6,000 every month. Now, if you're selling cars and they're turning over and everything's efficient and everyone's working really well, that can be a great way to do things. And it did work for us, but just not well enough to justify the cash flow issues, the headaches, and all the problems that come with running a business of this scale. On top of that, V12, who did £150,000 worth of funding, have pulled out of the market. Seems to be lots of these finance lenders pulling out of markets now, whether that's to do with some of this kind of finance reclaim things, or it's just a sign of the market in general, which is kind of more my guess. They're pulling out. So that would have meant more funding we'd have to find if we want to keep operating at the same time. On top of that, we had the Cayenne stolen from us. The MOT centre have gone completely quiet, don't want to know anything about it, don't want to take any responsibility, don't want to share their insurance details. So that's another £15,000 to £20,000 just dead in the water while I try and sort out that issue. And for a long time, it's just felt like the juice is not worth the squeeze. Now, while this sounds like everything is ending and we're closing down the garage, and obviously as you can see behind, we are clearing everything out. We need to do some kind of repairs to this building, get it back to how it was. In fact, it's going to be a lot better than how I found it. And there will be a follow-up video where I do my kind of like last walk around Berrow Motors, and I'll show you everything that we did, from installing all the electric doors to blocking up really unsafe windows and putting new ones in. Absolutely tons of stuff we've done to this space. I have spent tens and tens of thousands on improving this building. It's another reason when I don't own the building that you don't want to carry on spending a lot of money on it. It's another reason that we've kind of decided to do this. The good news is that we do have facilities down at the farm, and the intention is that we're going to bring you even more content, the type of stuff that you really like to see. So we're going to be buying at auction, we're going to be repairing cars, kind of getting in depth with the actual repairs. We're going to be following the process from start to finish, just on a much smaller scale, which, to be fair, might be far more relatable to a lot of people. It just doesn't suit me to keep running this business this way, because it takes 90% of my time for, let's say, 10% of revenue generated. And I'm really excited to see what we can do when we take all that time and dedicate it to other things like the YouTube, competitions, Car Sport for More, and all that sort of stuff. So while this is all closing down, this really isn't an end. I really am excited about this, and I feel like this is just the beginning. Obviously, with closing this site, it does mean that a lot of the staff are moving on. Mechanics will be finding new jobs. Jason's moving on, potentially going to be selling caravans. And the good news is that I've kind of made this as a business decision long before we ever got into any kind of financial trouble. In fact, that wasn't really the issue here. Everyone's had their redundancy. In fact, even people who weren't technically entitled to redundancy because they were either self-employed or they haven't been here that long, I feel being given a really decent redundancy, a lot of time, and everyone's going to be doing great. There is absolutely loads of work around here, and people are already getting headhunted. So I feel really good that everyone's kind of got something lined up, and hopefully this will be great news for them as well. What has been truly amazing with kind of opening up this business to you guys at home is the amount of support we've had. Since starting doing this about 3 years ago, we've gained 120 odd thousand subscribers. You've helped us raise well over £30,000 for charities. We've won awards, and we have sold thousands of cars and got some really good reviews. Of course, we got some really bad fake ones as well. But on the whole, we had some amazing support, and I couldn't have done it without the team who have been here at Berrow Motors. So I want to thank you, and I want to thank them as well for making this what it has been, and for giving us the opportunity to carry on, adapt this YouTube channel, and hopefully bring you even better content going into the future. Of course, one element I haven't spoken about, but I guess is really important, and probably the most important, but I don't like to talk about it because it's, you know, it's me, is I have stacked way too much on my plate with everything that I've been doing. It's been 7 or 8 hard years in the motor trade, of which I've worked 6 days a week at the garage. And then on the 7th day of the week, I'm busy working on, say, like the farm, for example. So other than taking the number of holidays I could count on one hand over the last 8 years, I haven't had any time off for weekends, and I'm really looking forward to kind of taking a bit of stress off, give myself a bit of an easier time, and hopefully you can start to see a bit more of the real Joe, because I probably have been under the stresses of the situations I've made for myself. So this is going to be important for me to do, and I think for my own health and mental health reasons, the closure is a really good decision, and I think nothing but good things can come from it. So, as I say, there will be a follow-up video where I walk around here once all the cars are gone, all the stuff is gone, and I will tell you everything that we've done, changed, how it was, including pictures of how it was originally. And while we may be quieter for a month or so while we sort out closing down this building, we've got an absolute stack of content coming for you, from car rebuilds to going to auctions to risky auction purchases, all the stuff that you really like. But I am going to try and relax for this weekend before I get back to sorting out the rest of the work here. And while I know a lot of you will probably unsubscribe because Berrow Motors and the garage is the reason that you subscribe to this channel, and I completely understand, and if that is the only reason you want to watch, then I understand if you need to unsubscribe. No hard feelings whatsoever. But to be honest, I'd like to think you'll be back, because as I say, this content is going to be so much better than what we've been putting out before. We're going to put a lot of time and effort into it, really think it through, and rather than just filming what we're up to, we can really kind of plan this stuff out in advance. So if this is perhaps the first time you've seen us, perhaps you've come off the back of Mike Brewer's new TV show where you would have seen us feature, and now you've gone to look at us and says that we're closing, do subscribe, because there's going to be a lot of good stuff. And I really look forward to this exciting new chapter for the Shifting Metal channel. In the meantime, you can check out our second channel, Shifting Metal 2.0. Over there, you will find us doing a podcast every 2 weeks, and we've got all kinds of content going on there, from Charlie cleaning cars, Ben doing mechanical stuff, and lots of stuff. We've got a full program of stuff going on. I've probably waffled enough. Hopefully you'll subscribe. Hopefully we'll see you in the future. And I'm going to go and put my feet up for a weekend and start trying to get a feel for how this new relaxing lifestyle might be for me. Oh, and one interesting thing I might add, is you might think, oh, I've sold out and I'm getting out of the car trade. The car trade is a really tough place to be. You would have known that probably from the podcast and a lot of the videos that I've done. And you might find that some of your other favorite content creators are thinking very much along these lines, because I've had a few messages from people saying that either they are working towards that or perhaps they're about to do the same thing. So hopefully you can see that this isn't an isolated incident with me. It's a lot of work being in the car sales business, and while I think if you're a very slick operator, which clearly I'm not, you can make good money from it, there probably are easier ways. So do enter with your eyes wide open and don't grow faster than you should do. Good luck. Thank you so much. See you soon.